The Los Angeles Rams traveled to Tampa Bay to play Tampa Tom and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are a 3-point favorite in this game. The Rams are coming off a big victory, 34-11 over Arizona. It wasn't even a close game. They just routed the Arizona Cardinals in that game. Tampa Bay, they basically had a bye. They played the Philadelphia Eagles, and that wasn't even close. The Eagles scored late. It was 31-15 in that game. What can you say? OBJ for the Rams has been phenomenal. Not just running the ball, catching the ball, but throwing the ball. He had a 40-yard pass completion against the Cardinals. He's been doing it all. The one thing I like about OBJ in this offense, he doesn't have to be the main player like a Cooper Kupp. He just has to fill in and get some great plays during the game. Here's a player in 9 games, has 6 touchdowns, Coach. So that was a good move for them to bring him in at the right time. He's contributing. You look at the defense with Aaron Donald and those cats over there. They're playing at such a high level right now. I think Matthew Stafford was the right fit. If you look at the way he controlled the game, he didn't throw the ball a lot, only 17 times against Arizona, but he didn't have to because Cam Akers, the running back, came back. And what a great combination with Sony Michel in the backfield. That's going to challenge this Tampa Bay defense. Todd Bowles has done a heck of a job with this defense as defensive coordinator. But on the offensive side, can they get Leonard Fournette back? I think he's got to be key in this football game for Tampa Bay. Their offensive line's banged up. The right tackle's banged up. The center's banged up. Even his backup, Wells, is banged up. So there's some questions on the offensive line for Tampa. But you got Tampa Town playing at home. This is a team that's 9-1 on the season, including the playoffs at home. They're tough to beat at home, Coach.
Well, let's remember that the Rams did beat the Bucs earlier in the year. And since that game, what have the Rams done? They added Odell Beckham. They added Von Miller, the great linebacker who had a sack last week, and they added Cam Akers, the running back, which you just mentioned. They've outgained their opponents by close to 500 yards, mostly by air. They've thrown 18 interceptions. That is sort of a problem there. They're +2 on turnovers. They've been sacked 31 times. The defense has 50. That is +19 on sacks, Mark. That's an awful lot, which speaks well for Darnold, the great defensive player, and, of course, as we mentioned, Von Miller. Now, Kupp is the key, though, Mark. He has 145 receptions, 1,947 yards, 16 touchdowns, and now they have Odell Beckham to go with him. I think the defense is really good. They're much better than Tampa Bay's defense is banged up at the present time. If Tampa Bay's defense is healthy, they're as good as anybody in the entire country. But when you look at the Bucs, yeah, they're great on third down, almost 50%. They've outgained their opponents by 1,250 yards. That's a lot, Mark. Their defense is very good when healthy. I don't know how healthy they're going to be. They have lost Goodson as well as A.J. Brown. These are 2 great receivers that really hurts them. They're +10 on turnovers, which is very, very big. They scored 63 touchdowns, Mark, and only 39 for the opposition. I mean, that's just unheard of in the NFL to outscore your opponents by that much. They've only been sacked 23 times, but they have 47 on defense, Mark. That's +14. Tom Brady has been outstanding. 5,316 yards, 43 touchdowns, only 12 interceptions, but they protect him. He doesn't get sacked. Now, is Fournette going to be able to play? I think he will, Mark. He hadn't been able to play the last couple of weeks. Yeah, Jones is a very, very fine running back in his place. But let me tell you where Fournette adds so much to your football team is he protects the passer, Tom Brady. When they blitz a linebacker, you watch him. He faces up on him. And I'll tell you what, he blocks like a lineman does. So it's not just his running ability, but the fact that he plays such an important role in that. When I look at the fact that the great defensive back, Richard Sherman's not going to play for the Bucs. They're really banged up. I just don't see any way in this world the Bucs could win, except they're at home. They have Tom Brady, and they have Gronkowski, and they have Evans. I look for the Bucs to prevail, 26-23. And after this game, you're going to say, I thought the Rams were a better football team, but Brady found a way to win.
You're right. The key's probably Rob Gronkowski. How are the Rams going to defend him? If you look at the Rams' defense last week against Arizona, they held the Cardinals to -3 yards throughout the entire first quarter of the game and held them to 183 total yards in that game. On the offensive side of the ball, everybody says, well, Matt Stafford can't do this. Well, you know what? He didn't turn the ball over at all. And they averaged 17.3 yards per reception. So they're opening up the field in the passing game, and they're stretching the defense, and that opens it up for the running game. The only question I had, as I mentioned before, can they stop Gronk? Because, you know, sooner or later in this game, he's going to have 2 or 3 catches, particularly down in the red zone, and he's going to score a touchdown. But I'm looking at this Rams team on both sides of the ball. very well coached under Sean McVay. He finally got the quarterback that he wanted, not the one that he inherited. So I'm looking at this team traveling on the road, coming up with another huge effort. They already beat Tampa earlier this season. Tampa's given them 3 points. I'm taking LA in this one. I'm thinking the Rams are going to upset Tampa Tom, and that run down in Florida that you so enjoy because you live in Florida. What are you, about an hour from Tampa or Orlando? I'm taking the Rams to win this one outright, 34-26.
Well, Mark, you probably have an awful lot of good points on that, but you're overlooking a couple things. Since they've lost A.J. Brown and Godson, they've gone more to 2 tight ends, which really helps Gronkowski running the crossing routes and things along that line. Let's remember this. Tom Brady has won more playoff games than most of the quarterbacks in the playoff combined, and that includes Mahomes, that includes Josh Allen, that includes Aaron Rodgers, but it certainly includes Stafford. So I just think that they will find a way to win. And I think Arias and Tom Moore, who works with the offense, does a tremendous job. I mean, they're very smart. They figure out a way, and playing at home is a big asset. That's why everybody fights so hard to get that home field advantage. And because the Bucs have it, I think they prevail. Next week is going to be so fantastic. Aaron versus Tom Brady. Think about it, Mark. 7 championship reigns to 1. And they haven't won the one at the Packers in 12 years. But Aaron Rodgers is a little different this year. He's on a mission, Mark. After their disappointing opening loss, they have been by far the best team in the NFL because of Aaron Rodgers and, of course, the great receiver.
So all you want to care about is Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady just playing that game. So once they play each other next week, you're probably not even going to watch the Super Bowl. That's your Super Bowl.
Oh, I know. I tell you what, the Bills and the Chiefs and I think the Bucs have a hard game ahead of them. I agree with you about the Rams. When we talk about the Rams have added and what the Bucs have lost, you say you must be out of your mind to pick the Bucs. But I do believe the Bucs will prevail. I can't tell you why, except they're at home. They play pretty well on defense when they're healthy.